to Newsmakers. I'm Lisa Oligas. In this edition, we learn about an annual event born out of care and concern for a Joplin neighborhood, the North Heights Porchfest, plus a related project, a summer market in the park, raising funds to renovate the Columbia School property into an interactive park area, and a performance by one of the artists performing at Porchfest. We begin our conversation with Porchfest planner Angela Hudson, and with her is singer-songwriter Kara Middick. Welcome and thanks to coming to Newsmakers.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, thanks for having us.
So all the efforts today are the efforts of the North Heights neighborhood group. Tell us about this group, and I know, Angela, you're sort of new to the area. Why did you want to be part of North Heights Porchfest?
Well, I moved here from Austin, Texas, and was looking at different neighborhoods and went to Porchfest, and it was just a very natural fit coming from Austin. So the vibe of the whole neighborhood is just amazing. Porchfest is just such a different concept, and I just had to be a part of it. So
how connected is this group of neighbors?
Super connected. We do other events throughout the year, not just Porchfest. We do like movies in the park and the market now, and lots of different things that neighbors get going all the time.
Yeah. So for those who haven't seen it, will you guys describe how Porchfest works? For the performers, Kara, how did you get involved? Have you performed before, or is this going to be your first time?
This is my first time. I have visited and watched Porchfest the last few years, and I've been a musician for 10 years now, and I just shot an email and talked to Teresa and got involved that way.
So is it hard to become one of the performers, or you just have to meet a deadline?
I think it's super easy. If you want to perform, you can just go to the Porchfest website and submit your application that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you see as the benefits for musicians and a performer like yourself?
I think it's really cool that we have such a huge community of musicians out here in Joplin, that it really helps get your voice out and just play live and have a lot of fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Angela, how many bands or artists are taking part this year? And tell us about the date and time of this year's event.
So there's over 60 that have applied, and 20 of those are new this year. So that's quite a bit. It shows how much it's growing, and the event is going to be on October 4th, and it is 11 to 7. The bands kind of start at 12, so 12 to 7, 7 hours of lots of music.
Yeah, you had a sign-up deadline for the musical artists, but there are other ways to participate. Let's talk about the other aspects of Porchfest, because I think there's like arts, crafts, vendors. Tell us who can come and what kind of deadline they have to sign up.
Yeah, so we also have the opportunity for vendors to come. There's a mega block where vendors can come and sell their goods, and there's arts and crafts for children, and you could also be a host. We definitely need some hosts.
So what does it mean to be a host? It's basically you're offering either your lawn or your porch?
Yeah, you're just providing a space for the bands, and you kind of take care of them that day, and you get to have music right in your front yard. So all you have to do is go on the website and just apply to be a host.
Mm-hmm. So, Kara, tell us about this. I mean, you're performing, it's outdoors. How long will you perform? You know, what kind of set list do you come up with?
So I believe the set time is 45 minutes for a band. And so I basically just try to pick some songs that I like to play, and then some songs I think might be crowd pleasers, and then throw in a few originals as well to get my voice out there and my creative outlet, and that sort of thing. But I think it's really cool that we have such a diverse amount of musicians as well. I remember last year I listened to, there was like a drum ensemble, as well as like the Joplin High School Strolling Strings was there, which was really cool because they have violins, cellos, and violas, and I really just like the diversity because there's also rock and roll and just anything you want to hear, acoustic, anything you want to hear.
Bet last year you guys had an artist come all the way from Tennessee, Tenny Ray. We interviewed her. I know there's blues, there's rock, there's folk. So there's so many different descriptions of musicians. It's a great place to experiment as a person. You wander the streets of the neighborhood and you can hear about anything. The event is free to the community, which is great, but you do pay the bands. So how do you fundraise?
Yeah, so actually this year our biggest sponsor is, our presenting sponsor is Sparklight, and we get different sponsors. That's a big way we fundraise. The vendors that are coming out, that's another way we fundraise. We also do teaser concerts, which are super fun, and that is part of just kind of getting the message out about Porchfest and sharing awareness of the event. So.
You've had one with Sunset Circle, and then I think you had one previously with the June Bugs?
Yes, yes.
So tell us about those artists and some of the others that might be performing.
I mean, I had never heard these bands before, and they are amazing. I mean, not just for Joplin, they're just amazing. June Bugs was just really good, kind of a Beatles cover band, and then Sunset Circle was amazing. It was really, really fun. It was just this last weekend.
Are there any
really
more
good vibe.
pre-Porchfest events planned? Or
There is, so because the other two have been such a success, we're definitely going to do one in August. So sometime mid-August, and the band is TBD, but it will be at the main event, which is where this last one was.
Okay. And then how many projects and neighborhood improvements have been completed? That's kind of the mission of Porchfest, the neighborhood getting together. They want to improve the neighborhood as well. So what are some of the projects on the list that you guys want to accomplish?
I mean, there's lots of stuff on the list. The first boring one is we got to get a shed. We have, we mow our own park, and so there's a mower that's in a neighbor's garage that we have to coordinate and get the mower out. So that's the number one thing. But we're going to do some fun things too, like get a stage area, maybe some exercise equipment, adult exercise equipment, maybe pickleball. There's been lots of ideas. All of that takes money, but
I know in the past they were even worried about like sidewalks and curbs to make the area look better for the neighborhood.
yeah, all of that will be in there. One of the things we're talking about doing is doing some sidewalk art with the Spiva Event Center, or trying to get some more art involved as well.
What are some of the added benefits to the neighborhood when it comes to things like this, when it comes to maybe like community spirit? What do you think? How does it nurture that?
I mean, it's immeasurable. The fact that you get to know your neighbors and you just get connections and relationships built, it makes the neighborhood safer, and you just have a safe community and everybody knows each other. A lot of my neighbors have all lived there for 30 years, so I'm the newbie, but they have been all very, very welcoming.
So is there anything new this year that hasn't been part of Porchfest in the past?
Well, there is on the Ian Moffett block, the mega block. Mega's getting even more mega. There's going to be a craft mocktail garden, and then there's going to be a main stage. So that will be very exciting, and it's going to be kind of in the center of it.
Which then they can also find a map on your Facebook page to see what streets usually, that hasn't probably been created yet, but closer to the weekend of, you can find out what bands are on what streets.
Yes.
What is it like to try and coordinate all that?
I mean, it's my first year doing it. I imagine it's going to be pretty crazy. So the map will change all the way up till the day of, because, that's just the way it works. So we will have some hard copies that you can pick up at the information booth, and but online is going to be the best place to find the map, because then you could just plan out your day.
Yeah. Kara, talk to us about, do you play more than once, or do you just get one performance?
It depends on how many bands you're in, I believe. But so if you're in one band, you get one performance, but you can play with other bands if they need other musicians as well.
What do you enjoy about performing live?
Oh, I just really enjoy sharing the love of music. I am a new songwriter, and I'm starting to kind of get my own music out there. And I grew up playing music for a really long time with my family. I was kind of the first one to start picking up the guitar. My grandma played a little bit, but we all had grown up in a church that was really based around harmony and singing. And so we would get together and pick some of our favorite songs that we really liked, and we really enjoyed singing together as a family, and it started gaining more traction amongst our friends, and eventually we started having these big family jam sessions. And so whenever I perform, I really like to harness that energy of my family jam sessions and try to bring that love with me and share it with the community.
You play something besides guitar, right? You play other instruments?
Yes, I started out with the cello when I was 9 years old, and I actually still play it at the Missouri Southern Symphony in the school year.
Yeah.
And then I started playing bass guitar, and I just wanted to learn as much as possible, and so I begged my parents to get me an acoustic guitar, and I just never put it down since.
Wow. So what inspires you when you're writing your own music? What would you say your songs are about?
My main one right now is called Dopamine, and it's one that I just wrote last August. And it kind of talks about my own struggles with social media and like being on it a little bit too much, and how I feel like sometimes it can take away from the quality of my time with the people I'm around, if that makes sense.
So do you ever think of recording music or
Yeah,
that?
I have some recording equipment in my room that I've been experimenting with for a while, and I've been making a short EP for a while, and I'm ready to start releasing stuff pretty soon.
Excellent.
It's exciting.
Well, we're going to put you to test here. We're going to ask you to play us to the break. We're going to take a quick break, and you're going to come back with details of the market in the park. But first, we have Kara Middick to give us a taste of what's to come at Porchfest. All right, Kara, take it away.
It's affecting everyone across the board. Whether you're just born or 94. Doing the same thing all the time. Is there anything ever on your mind while you're waiting in line? We say we're passing the time. Are we really alive? Sometimes I wanna rewind, and I'm starting to feel like my life isn't really mine. Dopamine, oh dopamine, can't you let me put down this screen? Don't wanna spend my life chronically online. Get me off this machine. I wanna be clean. Let's be present right here, right now. We all know time ain't slowing down. It's a silent fight in a crowded room. Can you see me, or do you just see right through? And my seconds are dollars in the pockets of the rich. We capture the moment, we dilute the experience. Memories are watered down, and the kids don't play 'cause they don't to stop it. Dopamine, oh dopamine, won't you let me put down this screen? Everything I've seen since I was just 13, a world we can't live without. It's the addiction that no one cares about.
Welcome back to Newsmakers. We've talked about the upcoming North Heights Porchfest in October. It's a project that is driven by residents in the neighborhood, which recently gained use of the old Columbia School property. Now, to talk about plans for that area, we are joined by Maura McGee, creator and coordinator of Market in the Park, and rejoining us is Angela Hudson. So thank you. Welcome to Newsmakers.
Thank you for having us.
So you started this whole Market in the Park in April. What inspired that?
I mean, the park is just a great area for it because it's so wide open, and so when you see that the sea of canopies out there of all the different vendors, I mean, I pictured that before it even began, and I was just like, it's just the perfect area for it. So, you know, I pitched it to the park committee. They loved it. They were looking for fundraisers anyways to help with the park and other initiatives of the North Heights community.
So how did you guys gain access to the Columbia School property? How is it possible that you're going to be able to like renovate it or add things to it?
So Dr. Michael and Jerry Lynn Joseph actually purchased the property from the school district, and we managed the property for the use of the community to turn it into a park. So of course the school is no longer there, and there was a lot of work involved getting the debris all out of there and getting dirt work done and grass and just everything to make it usable as an open park space. And then of course we have lots of plans to add to it as we go, and that's where the fundraisers come in.
Yeah. So what's the mission of the market itself? I mean, you are hoping to raise money. You have a variety of vendors there. Tell us about that.
So it's an ongoing mission. Basically, the goal is always to support the North Heights neighborhood group and the different events and initiatives that we have between maintaining the park, helping with Porchfest, you know, helping with renovations in the neighborhood itself, just to enhance the livability of the area. Just all different things that we're doing.
Yeah. So what are you hoping to create in the park? I heard possibly pickleball was a mention. What are some of the other things? And you mentioned maybe a stage. I mean, could it be a permanent stage or a temporary stage? What are you thinking?
We would like to have some kind of pavilion or gazebo for different events, but also to double as a stage for Porchfest. But it would be convenient for other events as well. So that would be a nice centerpiece that hopefully down the line we'll be able to add. We'll be adding park benches and more trees and shrubs just to, give it more shade and character. And pickleball has been mentioned. We want to resurface the basketball court so it can be used. And then, of course, the all-important shed that we need for our maintenance equipment so we can get it out of our very generous neighbor's garage. So yeah, and other things, if community members have ideas, we're always bouncing around different ideas of stuff that people will like to use at the park.
Yeah. So let's talk about what's part of the summer market. Now, you mentioned, Angela, you're a vendor. Mm-hmm. So what do you have at the market?
I make handmade jewelry and art, and so I sell that there, and it's a great market, and it's right across the street from me.
You don't have to go very far from home.
No.
Mm-hmm. So for other vendors, is there a fee then to have a table and to offer their wares, Maura?
So we have 10 by 10 spaces, and you can have up to 2 spaces side by side if you need more space than that. Regular vendors pay $25 per event for each space. And then food truck vendors pay $50 for their space. And all of that goes to the North Heights Neighborhood Group's account to work on things. But yeah, we have all kinds of vendors. We have a lot of artists and crafters that make just pretty much anything you can think of. The really popular little crocheted plushies and jewelry and resin and 3D prints. And just, we had a great character artist that's been at the last two. They were wonderful. Just pretty much anything you can think of. But we expanded it beyond that too, because there are, lots of places where artists and crafters can go, and we did want to support them because we're very much supportive of artists, local artists. But we also expanded that to where if you wanted to sell antiques or, vintage items, or we have one that she sells boutique clothing. We have screen printers that come out. It's just pretty open.
Very eclectic.
It is very eclectic. And so, and a lot of people think, oh, it's just another art fair. It is an arts and crafts fair, but it's so much more than that. Like I said, we have so many other, we have farmers that are starting to come out now that the vegetables are ripe. So it's just kind of a combination of things, because we wanted to be able to provide as many different booths as possible, because the more you have, the more people are going to go, oh, well, they have this too. I think I'll go to the market today.
Right.
So, that's what we do. But it is family friendly, so we do limit certain things, anything legal, any weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, any, obvious things that you wouldn't want in a family friendly event.
How is it similar or different from other like summer markets, the Empire Market and, farmers markets? A little bit different because it's more variety?
I would say that's probably one of the biggest differences is we've basically combined all of the different markets into one. So that helps because, we can get more vendors that way because we're not as, we don't limit it to just one thing. And then of course we encourage an eclectic crowd of shoppers, because maybe you're not really into crafts, but you definitely want fresh vegetables. So it just, encourages more people to come out.
So you mentioned your group. So the neighborhood group, is this considered a nonprofit organization? How does it function? How many members are there? Who can be a member?
The North Heights Neighborhood Group is a nonprofit, and all of our events is under that same umbrella. So the market and Porchfest is actually a North Heights Neighborhood Group event.
Mm-hmm. And then, do you have to live in the neighborhood, I guess, to be part of the neighborhood group?
Basically, yes. Yes, you do.
That would be of your interest, yeah. So I know in the past, food trucks were part of Porchfest. Will they be still located near the park, or are they going to be spread out? What's going to be this year?
Yeah, mostly around the park. I think it's working really well to have the food there. We do the same thing for the market. It just makes sense.
Yeah. What are some of the costs associated with establishing a park? I mean, you mentioned, you might have to do even some grass and, the property itself might need something.
We've already done that. We've done the dirt work and the grass. I mean, obviously there'll be maintenance on that. We put in a very large berm. We put in picnic tables, walking paths. They said so far they've spent about $12,000 just getting it where it was usable, where it was a nice open space that you could use. And that was the actual grounds itself to get it prepared. And then, of course, the concrete pads will still need work, and the walking paths will need upkeep, and the mowing, has to be done on a regular basis, which is usually done by volunteers. So.
Do you have a goal for like trying to create that gazebo or that stage? I mean, is there a funding goal that you have?
Right now, our biggest goal is getting the shed. That's our first goal, is to get that done. And then from there, we'll kind of decide, like once we have that completed, which we hope will be very soon, then we'll decide on like what the next big project will be. And I'm kind of hoping it'll be the gazebo.
Yeah. So you said you're new to the area. Have you been involved in Porchfest for a number of years? What do you enjoy about Porchfest and, making the neighborhood?
I actually just moved to Joplin in 2022, so I'm fairly new as well. While we were working on our house, Porchfest was actually occurring at that time, and we're like, oh, what is this? It looks like fun, but we didn't have time to participate at all that first year because we were getting our house ready to move in. The next year, we attended Porchfest and really enjoyed it. And then last year we were vendors on Artist Row, which is kind of where the idea came from for a market in the park, because it's like, oh, well, this does really well, but it's only once a year, and we could do like kind of a smaller version of that with, obviously we don't have all of the musicians and as many food trucks, but we do have a lot of vendors. We actually made it up to almost 50 vendors at this last one. So it was pretty big. It gets a little bit bigger every month. But it's just a great lead up to Porchfest because it's like a preview of what you can expect there. Cara played not this month, but the previous month. So we do try to have at least one musician if we can organize it. But it just, lets people know, hey, this is kind of like Porchfest.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do they complement each other? But so it kind of gives you a hint of what you might see coming in the future.
Exactly. And that's why we cut it off at September. So our last one it's the second Saturday of the month from April through September. And we purposely stopped because Porchfest is always in October.
Yeah. How do you feel like the market in the park is also kind of enriching the community in the neighborhood?
Well, I mean, it gives you this beautiful community park to, go with your family for picnics. We have 2 full-size soccer goals. There's kids out there all the time playing soccer and just playing other games. So just everyone in the neighborhood and even people not in the neighborhood are, always more than welcome to come out and just enjoy the park. And again, we would like to have more events there to give the community a place to come together and get to know their neighbors and have fun.
Well, I think that's part of it, knowing your neighbors. So many people don't know their neighbors. I mean, you guys have made it, not just an event, but like working together. You probably know more people than you ever did, and you're even new to the neighborhood.
Yes.
So maybe other neighborhoods should take this as an example and try and get their own little thing going.
Totally.
Yes, definitely.
So talk to us about, the date and time again as to what's your next market. In September, you have one. August and September?
Our next market is actually July 12th because it's the second Saturday of every month. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Vendors usually get there about 8 o'clock to start setting up, so they're good to go at 10 o'clock when people start coming.
If someone wanted to be a vendor, how do they reach out to you?
They can visit our Facebook page or email us. It's just North Heights Market in the Park @gmail.com is our email, and then Facebook, North Heights Market in the Park. There's lots of information on there about, what we do. So.
All right. Well, thank you both for giving us all such detailed information, and good luck in the market in the park and the upcoming Porchfest. People are going to want to pay attention to that. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having us.
That wraps up this edition of Newsmakers. Mark your calendar now for Porchfest, October 4th, featuring 60-plus bands. Artists and food trucks need to sign up by July 1st. Homeowners offering porches sign up by August 15th. Check out the group's Facebook page for all of that information. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching Newsmakers. Good night.